Live from Austin, Texas, it's the internet's craziest advice show, Answering for a Friend. Now, here's your host, Clint and Mia. Woo! What is happening, gang? It's another episode of Answering for a Friend, starring Mia and Clint. How you doing, Mia?
Hi. Oh my gosh, we haven't done this in so long.
I know we haven't done it in so long. Man, it's so good to be back, hanging out with all the people on the internet and just doing our thing, answering questions and having fun.
Yeah.
What have you been up to today? Anything exciting?
Today specifically, or since the last time we had a show? Because a lot of stuff has happened.
Oh boy.
Today I avoided being cold, so there was a lot of trying really hard to be warm today.
It certainly is cold today in Austin, Texas. That is a fact. It is crazy.
Does anybody else out there, if you're from here, having like the PTSD? Like, I know we weren't going to be snowed in today because it wasn't, anything like that. But I was thinking that, well, what if the power grid goes down?
Yeah.
I was having this like flashbacky feeling of like, okay, well, at least I would be able to drive somewhere because I wouldn't be snowed in. But it was just really like all day I was kind of on edge, like, I want to stay warm because if the power goes out, at least I'm warm. It was just, I don't like it. We used to love snow days here. It's not weird. I don't think we love them anymore.
We definitely used to love that, but now it's like it was like exotic. I don't know. It was different. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we never have cold days. So when we finally get cold days, it's like cool. This is an adventure. But now after the last one, I definitely
It's like, oh, what do we have to prepare for?
And I had it pretty easy. Last time when all that happened, like I wasn't very affected, but a lot of my friends were really in a rough spot.
Oh, we were. I just told the whole story to someone a couple of days ago, and it was like reliving all of it is just. I totally forgot so many little chunks of things that happened throughout that whole thing, and I kind of want to start. I've been thinking about this a lot, starting my own podcast, or maybe doing just chatting on Twitch and just telling these stories. Oh, what happened to the screen? Did you see that?
Something screwed up, but we'll fix it. It's all good.
Oh, it's a capture thing.
It's a weird thing, but now we fixed it. There we go.
Now it's just my face. That's okay. I was just talking about how I wanted to do a thing where it's just in my face only. But anyway, yeah, just reliving that.
How about just my face? There we go.
Just reliving that whole thing was like crazy. Absolutely insane. But anyway, yeah, since the last time I saw you on here, a lot of stuff has gone on. It's been really fun. A lot of craziness. Y'all, I'm sorry if my brows look real
fantastic.
weird. Do they look good? Do they look good on camera?
Did you go what do they call that? A microblading?
Microblading. So I had them microbladed and it's been a week. It was a week yesterday. And so when you go through healing of microblading, also if you guys have any questions on microblading, I'm very well versed now. Going through the healing process, it's like there are times that they look really dark, times they look really light, you lose pigment. I don't have any makeup on them right now. This is full microblading. So it's just, I couldn't do anything extra to them because I can't. They're still healing. It's only been a week. So anyway, that's that.
But they look fantastic as far as I'm concerned.
Well, especially my beautiful left baby, who's always been like, I don't know, she's just like an Adonis. And then my right brow, she's just like the weird cousin that sometimes comes to Thanksgiving or something. I don't know. They've never been twins. They've been cousin enemies.
Well, they look the brows look fantastic. Maybe I need to go do some microblading.
I think your brows are good. You have good man brows.
Man brow. Yeah. Well, you want to start answering some questions, or you want to talk more about my man brow?
I want to talk more about your man brows. First, I want to address this chat. Bobby, hello in the chat. Gamer Girl says, "Oh, on Twitch. Are you streaming to my Twitch?"
Yeah, I am on your Twitch.
Okay, cool. Your brows look amazing. Thank you, Gamer Girl.
Thank you, Gamer Girl.
We had that cold weather a week ago. It was a bitter cold in Los Angeles in the 40s. Now that's cold for LA. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've never been to LA, but I've heard you guys are just as uh like baby about it as we are here when it gets cold.
LA's weather's the best. It's just like cool.
Is it?
It's like the sun shining, but it's cool, and you have the breeze blowing from the ocean, and you don't need air conditioning. You just like
Because
it,
it's not humid like here.
no, it's nice and cool. It's like cool ocean air. It's like really awesome. I love the weather
I've
there.
never been to LA, but I'm trying to figure out where I want to move after I finish school. And I can't be somewhere that's cold. I won't thrive. I
Yeah.
can't do it. It's hard. I even though the heat's on in the house and I'm warm, but I can't physically do anything. Like I needed to mop the floors today. There was no way I could get up and do that task being cold. Like I just can't do it.
I have this robe that's like fur. It's like furry robe that has a hood,
Yeah.
and I was fully clothed, but then it's like a snuggie material,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
threw that on over, so I look like a Sith Lord from Star Wars. But yeah, I was like threw that thing over, and I was walking around like a Jawa.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty fun. Pretty good
That's
times. Well, let's
funny.
answer some questions. What do you say?
Let's do it.
We got some questions. Thanks, gamer girl and Bobby for tuning in. Hopefully, we get some more people to join in on the action. Well, let's see what we got on the docket for today. Oh boy, my ex is signing me up on call lists. What should I do? Oh boy,
That's so mean.
I know this this one. I read this and it struck home. It hit home because I've had a situation like that, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, this person, he didn't date this person for very long, and he wanted his stuff back. He left a few items
Mhm.
over at her house, and she didn't want to give him his stuff back. And he finally said, "Look, if you don't give me my stuff back, I'm calling the police." And she was like, "Ah," she got scared. Uh,
Wow.
and threw the stuff out on the front porch, and it got rained on, but he got his stuff back and it was okay. And so it just sounds kind of childish all around, but he got his stuff back. But then all of a sudden he started getting things popping up like car dealerships and all different people just calling him and calling him and calling him, and he's like, dude, she is signing me up for stuff, I know it.
That's so awful.
And he can't really prove it, but he knows it's her. What would you do if you were in his shoes, Mia?
Start signing her up for stuff. Hey, I just got a text that said the broadcast has expired for our Facebook link. So I don't know if you want to look at that.
Strange.
It
Let's
was a
look.
screenshot. Um, what do I do in this situation? What can you do? You know, I had this really awful insurance guy who just kept calling me, and when I told him to leave me alone, he started texting, and then when I told him to leave me alone again, he was just like, "Okay, cool. Can't guarantee that another agent won't call you." So I decided I was going to take his number and start filling out stuff. So he started getting incessant calls and texts because
That's
it
really
was
bizarre.
insane.
People are so weird. You know what I mean? People get their feelings hurt, and then they're just really weird. Right now I'm uh keep talking because I'm looking down at this thing.
No,
It's like,
yeah, I just got another update that said live on Twitch and YouTube, but not on Facebook. They aren't live on Facebook, so I don't know.
hmm,
Um, I don't know why. We're
I
looking
don't
into
either,
it.
but I'm looking. Let's see here.
I'm a looking. Um,
I'm not seeing it on Facebook. That's super weird.
do what do we need to do?
I don't know. Let's look here.
Gamer girl, how's Fortnite gaming going? Picked up any new games? Yeah, I actually started playing this game called Plague Inc. and I got a friend into it. And I'm sure everyone knows about it because it's not like a new game or anything, but basically you try to infect the entire world with you start with a bacteria, I think, and then you go into a virus and then a fungus, I think, and then parasite. And I beat all the way up to parasite, and then you I don't remember what comes after parasite. Parasite was really easy. I played it once and got through it. Fungus, Gamer Girl says, I'm stuck on fungus. Yeah. I was stuck on fungus too for a long time. There was a fungus among us. Um, and I don't know how I beat it one night. Or did I do it at night? I don't know. Yeah, I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, all right, I got to finish this. And I somehow did it. It was probably a fluke. And the cure didn't catch up to me. So they'll start a cure in this game, and you have to try to like kill everyone before that. So I think maybe I just got lucky with the cure on that one, because it was only at 30% or something. I don't know. It's a fun game. I played on my phone. Nothing new on the Xbox though, but I'm still playing Fortnite. I'm almost done with the battle pass. I think there's like 15 more levels or something.
I think I fixed it. Let me see here. Haha, let's see here. Man, I bought that new Xbox and I haven't played it at all. It's embarrassing. How little I've played
You
that
can
thing.
give it to me if you want. I was thinking that would be a really sweet gift.
Were you thinking that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see here. Come on now. Boy, this is a real boring stream, guys. Sorry.
It's not boring. Give me the box. Give Mia the box. She spelled it BAWX. Box.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Oh, let's see. Hopefully that worked. Oh, gotta hit save, and I think this is gonna work. I think this is gonna work.
Okay.
Updating. Wait for it. If not, I'm just gonna be real sad.
Bobby said I started Disney Magical World 2 on the Switch and completed all the tasks, but still need about 16% to complete catalog. Disney Magical World. I've never heard of that game.
Me neither.
What is it about? Disney and magic?
It's probably a bunch of brooms walking around, and
Is that's what you pick when you think Disney? You think it's just brooms walking around?
if you're talking about Disney and magic, boom, 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 boom. That.
There are a lot of brooms in Disney movies. You are right. How many? I want the stats. Could somebody look it up? How many Disney movies are there brooms in? And how many of those brooms are magical?
Oh, they say only
Originally
10.
came out on the DS with Disney Magical World, and then they released the 2. That's cool.
Usually it's only 10% of, they say 10% of brooms are magical. Nobody says that. That's just...
What if that was an actual stat? 10% of all brooms produced around the entire world are actually magical brooms.
Wow. Why aren't you working? This is upsetting, guys.
Trisha said, Mia, you can ride my magical broom. So you have one of the 10% of magical brooms? You own a magical broom? I wouldn't go around telling people that, Trisha. I don't think people would be like, need to know that, because you're gonna get robbed.
You're at risk.
Bobby, you're on your own finding indeed the magical brooms in Disney movies. You have bosses and it's a really fun game, but it's easy. I like fun, easy games. I'm not a big, I will get frustrated if it's something that I have to take a lot of time to try to figure out, or if I have to replay levels a bunch. I think that's why I like Fortnite so much, because the quests aren't too terribly hard. And yeah, winning's fun and shooting people's fun, but also if we don't win, I don't take it that seriously, because it's not something that it's like, you're not, well, I guess you're moving up in levels for the battle pass, but you're not like beating the whole game. The goal isn't to like best the game. It kind of stays the same. then there's lore, and the map changes and stuff, and that kind of stuff is interesting to me. So I don't know. But yes, I do still play Fortnite all this time later, since August of last year. Who would have known that I would be a Fortniter?
I need to get on there with you and do some plan, because I was like, I
I'm
was
really good now at helping new players, like giving them the information on what's going on in the game, because I started out not knowing anything, and I know what information was really useful for me and what was like, why are you even telling me that? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I know how to answer the questions in the way that you're asking them. Like, I remember being on Spawn Island and I was just like, wait, how do people already have guns? Like, how do I not start out with a gun? And they're like, oh, you're not in the game yet. But it so looks like you are in the game. So I was very confused. And then I played with someone else that was a newbie who asked that same question I had asked. And I was like, oh my God, I totally get what you're asking. And when I asked it, nobody answered me in the way I needed it to be answered, because it didn't make sense at that time. So anyway, yeah, I would love to play with you. I'll help you figure it all out.
yeah, I'll like drop in and then just like completely get massacred before I can even do anything, and I'm like, what the hell? This is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It takes a little bit, especially like to figure out where you, I would say not going places that are like named locations, because there's going to be tons of people dropping in those spots.
hey, we have
Bobby
5
says,
people watching now.
do you have
That's
a
cool.
Switch? Do you have a Switch, Mia? We do have a Switch. It's my son's, but I could play on it or download stuff on it or whatever if I needed to. I don't really know the controls all that well on it. I've
Hey,
only tried what did I bought him Spyro, not this last Christmas, but the one before, and he never played it. So I was playing a little bit of that on the Switch because I used to play it on the Game Boy when I was a kid. So I wanted to play it. But yeah, that's the only thing I've ever done on the Switch. Oh, and then I played I guess I'm wrong. I've played another game on the Switch. It's the Luigi's Haunted Mansion. My son got stuck on a level, so I started playing that, trying to get him past that level. That's really fun. I really like that game. But that's another one where it's like you're just gonna die, and you have to keep going in and trying over and over and over again to get past a certain spot, which gets annoying really quickly. It reminds me of playing like Mario back in the day. Go into the eShop and read game download thing, whatever it's called. Okay, I will. I'll go check it out.
quit
I will
telling
check it out.
quit telling me how to live my life.
Quit telling me how to live my life. Yeah, like I need more games. I'm just kidding. I actually probably. I've thought about getting my own Switch, just not the one where like the Joy Cons and all that come off. Just the like regular, this cheaper one, where it's all like one solid piece.
How much are those?
I don't think they're that much. I think they're maybe even under 200.
Oh,
I
geez.
forgot what it's called. Switch Lite. Switch Lite. That's what it's called.
We'll
Switch
just start a GoFundMe to get you
Lite.
a Switch, Mia. I think
They're like 200 right now at Target, but I'm
hey,
pretty sure you could get one cheaper.
here's one cheaper. I'll sell you my kid's Switch right there.
She doesn't use it. Your kid. You can buy my Nintendo Switch. Okay, I have 2 people offering to sell me their
Boom,
Switch.
dude, you're
Can
set.
I make you like $20 a month payments till I pay it off? Because that's about where I
They
am.
don't need it anymore. They're a brat.
They don't need any more there, bro. Wow. Called out.
Yikes. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pretend like Facebook isn't a thing, and we're just gonna move on because we're on YouTube and Switch. So, I
YouTube and Twitch.
that's what I meant.
That is, I know that. I know
Yeah,
that's what you meant.
that's pretty nice that people are offering their Nintendo Twitches out there. But yeah, since we're broadcasting on Switch and YouTube, I'm just kidding, guys. There we go. We got some.
Why do you think it's not going to
I can't.
this?
I don't know how to do it without stopping. we could stop and
Oh,
we can stop and try it again. But now we're up to 6 people.
no, it's okay.
It won't do it. And I'm wondering if it's just gonna like reset and maybe it'll kick in a little while.
I mean, it's fine.
It
I
could
think
be
we
a
should just
Facebook
continue
issue
on.
because I mean we were going and now we're not. Um, and so I don't know. I'm gonna pause and then unpause. No, I'm not even gonna do that. I might screw it all up. So anyway, we got 7 whopping viewers right now who are
Elizabeth said, maybe just let the people who are waiting on Facebook know that you won't be going live on Facebook. Yeah, why don't you just go into the Facebook account and just post the YouTube link or
that's
something
an
so they
excellent
have that.
idea. But here you go, folks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, let's see here. Copy. Like, okay, Facebook people, y'all are dead to me now. We've moved on. We're just dealing with Switch and I'm just kidding. I'm gonna call Twitch Switch on purpose now forever.
I know. I know
That's
you will.
yeah, forever.
Forever.
So what else is going on as I do this?
I mean, that's really it that's going on. That's all that's going on. That's the haps, the goings on. I'm just gonna cook all weekend and stay in and be warm. I have stuff to make soup. I'm making a really good soup. And I have stuff to make I don't know, a bunch of good stuff. I'm gonna roast some tomatoes and some garlic and make a little spread for some delicious fresh sourdough bread. So I can have that for lunches. Making this big pot of soup from scratch. I just boiled the bones today for the broth. And it's going to be good. I'm just going to stay warm, stay inside. Oh, well, my hot tub too is working. So I'm probably going to go out and sit in that as well.
Bone broth, huh?
I don't like calling it bone broth. I feel like bone broth is a fad to get people to buy it, but it's stock. You're just making stock. I don't understand why it's called bone broth.
I remember
My whole
talking to my
life.
grandma about the Great Depression. She was telling me
Yeah.
that they were so poor that they would go and like they didn't have any meat or anything for their food and they would just make soup, just mostly a little bit of potatoes, but they had a bone and they would go borrow their neighbor's bone and they'd put it in the soup and it would flavor the soup, and then like they were so
Yeah.
broke half of them didn't even have bones, and like I'm like, wow, that makes me feel like a real
Cabbage.
yeah, it makes me feel
Cabbage was
like a real
yeah.
douchebag when I'm like complaining about the line at at Whataburger or something, at complaining about food at a Taco Bell or any other restaurant, but and I'm like, people were drinking basically water with a bone in it to make it taste like soup. Like, that's crazy to
Yeah,
me. Crazy times. But
that is
anyway,
crazy.
now we've shared the YouTube link to the Facebook page.
Okay.
So now we will move forward. Hopefully, all these people have YouTube accounts, and if they're not hooked up with YouTube, then they need to get with the times because YouTube's been around for quite a while.
Elizabeth said, just waiting for me to actually finally make TikTok comedy. I don't think I'm ever going to. I think that I want to stay off TikTok. I don't even use it on my phone.
Are you protesting TikTok right now? Is that what's
No, I'm
happening?
not protesting TikTok. I don't scroll through TikTok personally, and if somebody sends it to me, it'll open it, but I'll close out of it. I scroll through Instagram, so I see a lot of the TikTok videos.
Okay.
I don't tick or talk. Yeah, I don't know. I would like to do comedy stuff, but God, I don't know if I want to be on TikTok.
They have
Natalie says
YouTube Shorts
bring
that
me
are
some.
shaped like TikTok and shaped like Instagram. You just throw it up on Instagram, and then you can share onto other platforms too. Some of them
That's
are
right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Natalie says bring me some of that soup. And
Some of
yes, TikTok comedy channel Mia.
some of the you want some of the bone soup from the Great Depression? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't feel like I'm funny anymore where I could make stuff like that. I laughed earlier for about 5 minutes straight because I was trying to tell a story about how I took these bags out of my pantry and put them into Tupperwares, or not Tupperwares, like tubs, plastic tubs to organize. And something that I was saying struck me funny, and I just laughed for 5 minutes straight at myself, and nobody else found it funny. So I don't know if I have comedy in me. I think studying science, I've lost the will to be funny, but
You've been
whatever.
beaten down by the universe.
Been beaten down by facts and by people who don't believe facts, which
I think you're just
make
hilarious. I think what happens is you
my
just
brain
end up with a
explode.
dry sense of humor, and that's just a whole another thing.
Mm. So you're saying I'm hardened?
Yes, more like
She's gone. She's
dried
gone.
out.
Come to Dallas. What kind of soup you making? I'm just gonna do. It's probably gonna be like a lemon. I'll do lemon, rosemary, shredded chicken. I usually put celery, corn, and then I do kale in it, and I just season it and flavor it, and then I put small shells. But the stores are out of all pasta right now because of the supply shortages and COVID stuff and whatever, and winter storms. So I don't have small shells, and it's really good with Parmesan cheese and fresh sourdough bread with butter. Delicious.
I've got about 40 packages of pasta in the
Do you have small shells? And I mean shells, not
little
elbows.
bitty shells. I might.
Yeah,
I'll go look.
I might. It might be worth a trip way yonder to get
Oh,
them.
shoot, I'll be running errands. I'll drop it off to you. For real. This is hilarious. We're talking about like, hey, I'll drive some pasta across town for you
You
tomorrow,
drive
Mia.
pasta over to me. That'd be really great because I hate the idea of putting
Spaghetti.
penne or elbows in it because that's not the right pasta, and it'll taste the same. I don't know. It's something about the shells. Natalie says, "What are you drinking?" It's Tito's and a splash of OJ, pineapple Waterloo, and a little bit of date syrup.
Hey, what is the soup that you're making? What is it called? The kind of soup that you're making?
It's not. I just made it up.
Does it have a name?
No. Do you have a joke that's
Kind of.
loaded? Oh God, I don't have a name for it. I just usually
What do
call
you
my
call Mia's soup with penne? Or what do you call the it's nothing. Impasta.
dang it.
Impasta. Come on.
Impasta was gonna be
That
the.
was What do you call a fake noodle? It's an impasta. All right, let's get back to this guy. Look, we've been I meant to say freestyling and I almost said freeballing. That's a completely different thing.
That's a completely
we-
different. Let's not mix
so
those up.
yeah, so this guy is like he's getting signed up for stuff. I can relate. I don't know what to do. Like you can call the authorities and file a harassment charge. I don't know if you need a little bit more proof, but there's got to be a way to figure that out. But I would do that at least so that there's some kind of record. And if things get weirder, you can at least say, hey, there's a record. And we say that anytime any ex is bothering you, you should
I
definitely.
don't understand. I mean, like, she's not gonna do this forever. I think so.
It's an annoying
It's
tantrum.
mildly a pain.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's something that was fun. Years ago, I started getting, I don't know if I've told you the story. I probably already have, but I started getting, back in the old days when I was on tour and, I'm like sleeping in hotels and, drinking after the shows and partying and, and I was in my late 20s and waking up and I'd have like a phone call and it'd be like, hey, this is Marine recruiter, Sergeant blah, blah, blah. And I'm, says here, you want to join the Marines? I'm like, no, sir. I appreciate your service, but no, I don't want to join the Marines. I'm on Columbia Records. No, I'm good. I'm on
You're
tour.
like, I'm famous. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to join the Marines. I'm famous. Do you need a rock star in the Marines?
Exactly. I didn't even say that, but no. And then like another day, hey, this is so and so for so and so with the United States Navy. Have you ever? And I kept getting all these recruiters, and I'm like,
Who
what
was
the
doing
hell?
it?
And
A bandmate?
yes, it was Dustin, my guitar player for Riddling Kids. And what he was doing,
Dustin.
he was someplace and they were like, "Hey, do you want to fly this flight simulator?" Yeah, I want to fly that thing. They're like, "Well, you have to sign up for a recruiter." And so he signed up my name. And then he was at another thing with like, do you want a free T-shirt? He's like, yeah, if you climb the rope and you can ring that bell, you get a free T-shirt, but you got to sign up. So he signed me up for that. He just
He
kept
was
signing me up.
signing you up.
Yeah. So now
What a
it's been almost 20 years, and if I
yeah.
see a box for sign up for a free child membership at Gold's Gym, you could win this drawing. Everyone is a winner. Like every one of when they say
Yeah, yeah.
free drawing, they're just trying to get names. There's no actual winner. Everyone's a winner. You're gonna get
Right.
called, and I sign him up as often as I can for those things to get
That is
even.
so funny.
Yeah, for 20 years
I
later.
don't have I never even thought about that. Anytime I have like a because there's a lot of like food subscription boxes or like workout programs where or whatever you take a quiz and they won't show you your results until you put an email, and I literally always just put p@gmail.com or poop@gmail.com, but I never even thought like, do I have an email of someone that I really don't like or who was really awful to me, mean or something that I could start using? So there was a guy, this is what I was saying earlier, this happened to me. I'm insured. I have health insurance, you guys. Oh my god. I haven't
Woo!
had health insurance since I was 26, and so I'm really happy and proud of myself. I've been adulting so hard. So I had
Congrats.
accidentally signed up on one of these websites for health insurance, and this guy had been texting me and calling me incessantly, and I had asked him to stop a bunch of times, and I asked him to take my name off the list a bunch of times, and he never, ever, ever did. So the last message, I'm going to read them to you. He thinks he's so cheeky. And so anyway, he's like, "Hi, Mia. I'm going to give you his name. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Anyway,
You
let's just
should.
call him Alex.
Yeah, you shouldn't give me his last name. Just his first name's fine.
Listen, he texted me all of his information, so this is all on him. He goes, "Hi, Mia, it's Alex. I haven't been able to reach you. Please respond with one of the following. A, I went with another agent. B, I'm still looking. C, I'm on the beach in Mexico sipping margaritas." I texted back, D, leave me alone. And he said, "We scheduled an appointment last week. Did you find coverage?" First of all, no, we did not schedule an appointment. I have the documentation of all of our interactions, and never once was I like, "Sure, this is an appointment." I texted back, "Alex, stop texting me." And he said, So this is where I got frustrated. I'm saying leave me alone and stop texting me. And if you were a good person, you'd be like, cool, I'll remove you from the list. I
Did you
shouldn't have to tell him if
did you
I'm insured or not. That's none of his business. What?
did you politely say, "Hey, we went out with somebody else. I went with somebody else," or anything, or
No, because of how many times I had already asked him to stop texting me, I felt like I didn't have to give him that
right,
information.
right,
But
right.
he's looking for that and he's going to keep going until he gets that. So I said, "Stop texting me." And he responded with, "I'll mark you as uninsured. Can't guarantee nobody else will text you. Good luck." And that's when I was just like, what a jerk. So basically, he's not going to take me off of his list because he knows I'm going to get bounced around throughout their company and just continue to get called. So I just started texting him pictures of my
What
cat.
is his name since he's rude? I don't know.
I so and I had I
What's
just
the
started sending him pictures of my cat, basically spamming him with cat pictures, and then he'll be like, "Cute cat, we should keep in touch." I'm like, "Ew, no." I looked up his LinkedIn. He's some young like Texas boy. He thinks he's whatever training program he went through for this insurance company. He thinks he's really good at it and he's killing it or whatever, and he's personable, but really he's just a friggin' jerk. And so if he ever does say anything again, I'm going to take this number and I'm going to start signing it up for insurance companies. So he starts getting called by insurance companies.
Here's
That's my plan.
another good one is which is the other my buddy Dustin who I've got the feud with the
Mhm.
the or I don't know if you call it a feud, but he's one of my best friends. But he
Yeah.
like I signed him up for the Gold's Gym stuff, but also he's a realtor. So my new thing, I just realized when I was at
Oh,
a like at a stoplight, and I looked over at the telephone pole and I saw the sign, "We buy houses," and I'm like, how hilarious would it be to leave his number and then they call and they're like, "Hi, is this Dustin?" He's like, "Yeah, this is Dustin," and they're like, "Hey, we buy houses. Yes, you want to sell your house? Yes, I'm a realtor. I'll sell you a house." They're like, "No, I want to buy your
and they
house."
don't know.
"You
So
want to buy
it's
my
like
house?
this.
Wait, I want to buy your house." And then like they end up in this thing where they're like trying to sell each other houses. It'd be hilarious. In my mind,
That
it's
is
perfect.
amazing.
Yeah, in my mind, it's
That is
perfect.
amazing.
I think you should definitely sign that guy up for health insurance with other people. Like send
That's
other
what I was thinking about
health
doing.
insurance agents. It'd be hilarious.
And it seems like maybe it's a work phone number or it's a personal phone that gets reimbursed if he uses it as a work phone or whatever, because it's texting. It doesn't seem like a text service through work, because he has texted me at some really odd hours before, like, what shouldn't be during business hours. So it seems like a phone that he has on his person at all times. So
I've got it. You don't want to waste any other health insurance who are not douchebags. Like you don't want to waste somebody's time because that's just
I
rude.
think
And
they're
other
all douchebags.
and other people like that, like even that buy houses or that's kind of rude to waste that guy's time. But if you can
Yeah.
get him signed up for, hey, my my automotive
A
warranty,
warranty.
those people are ruthless and it's all automated. Like they call
You
me
know who's worse though?
they call me
I
like
think
four
this is
times a
the
day.
list. I think this is a list of the worst people. I'm sorry if you do one of these jobs, and I'm sure you're like a good person in your regular life, but as far as sales goes, okay, it's used car salesmen are number one. They're the absolute worst. I dealt with them forever in 2020 and it was awful. And then right under them is mattress salesmen or like furniture salespeople. They're awful. And then you have these guys. These guys that are the insurance people. So I think I'm gonna get a used car salesman his number.
They're the worst, huh?
That's a good one.
I'm trying to
They're the
think of
worst. Okay, hey,
think.
um, hang on. My laptop is dying and I thought it was plugged in, so I don't know what's
Uh-oh.
happening.
No, maybe you killed Facebook.
Maybe I did. All right, I'm gonna try to figure this out. Give me a second.
I like how you're like, I thought my thing was plugged in.
It's right here. It's not plugged in.
There it is.
But now I need to find an outlet for it. So hang on one second.
We've been taking a break for so long that we forgot how to stream. It's really
I forgot how to do it.
Yeah, we're like, Facebook, meh, we don't need Facebook. Electricity, we don't need electricity. What do we need that for? Yeah. What a crazy time. And we've gone for 38 minutes, 47 seconds. We haven't even answered any questions. It's insane. It's insanity, but we're glad to have you guys with us.
I cannot find an outlet. This is really weird. Because didn't I have this all set up and plugged in
You
before?
had it all set up. I got you all set up.
I know. So give me another second. You know what I just realized? I have a TV in here. That's what's taking up the other outlet. Hang on.
Well, don't unplug the lights, or people will not be able to see your microblading. Are you loving this stream? Bobby's loving this stream. We're like not even talking about anything, but Bobby's loving it.
This is the weirdest stream we've had. No, it's not. We've definitely had crazier streams. Okay. I couldn't hear what you were saying. I could kind of hear, but you were like, electricity. What were you saying? Like, oh, I forgot that you needed electricity for this stream.
I was like, yeah, we've like, oh, Facebook? Nah, we don't need Facebook. Electricity? We don't need electricity.
Right, exactly. What are we gonna cut out of the show next?
Rajneesh is in the house. We're not cutting anything.
Did you hear? I know this is local news, and I don't know if other people are even in Austin, but did you hear that Dale Dudley got kicked off of KLBJ?
I didn't know. The phrase "kicked off" wasn't in the article that I saw. I just said,
they didn't renew his contract, and he's like sour about it, of course. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
I wonder why. I wonder. You got any gossip?
I don't have gossip. I just know it was coming for years, and I think that it just finally happened. But I listened to the new show where it's just Matt and Bob and Beto, which is okay. It's not the same. Not the same energy.
Mm-hmm. It's always weird when you listen to a show for ages and then it changes and you're like, what the hell?
Well, and I was thinking about it too, because he said he was a couple months shy maybe of 35 years is what he said on the radio. So I was like, I've been listening to that since I was 18 at least. So 13 or so years, so a third of the amount of time he's been on the radio. That's pretty crazy.
That's super crazy. I wonder if he like kept getting raises all this time, and then like radio's not what it was now. Maybe
Well,
maybe they're like, hey,
he complained about money a lot on the show over the years, a lot of stuff. But anyway, I don't know. I hope he's thriving and he's finding. I think it was just probably hurt his feelings a little bit, but
poor guy. I mean, that sucks. That's what you do forever and ever, and then all of a sudden, reality change. You know what I mean? It's crazy, crazy, crazy.
there's no business like show business.
Well, let's answer a question.
You want to
Movie.
do our show the way our show's supposed to go?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Let's see here. This will be an easy one. I'm about to go out with a girl I really like. She's a friend of one of my best friends. I'm super anxious. Any suggestions? Guys, I got this. I got a real original. Pretend like you're in your people you're with are in their underpants. If you pretend they're in their underpants, it'll just break all the ice. You won't be nervous anymore. Okay.
Who started that?
I don't know. That's one of
It
those
was
things
me. I
like
started that.
people getting caught in quicksand and they're like, "Help!" and that's like it's I mean, since we were kids, that's always been a thing.
We always thought we were gonna come in contact with quicksand. I've never once come in
Quicks
contact with quicksand, but
it's
let
not
me tell you, if
it's
I
not
do, I'll
real.
know what to do.
Quicksand's not real
Quicksand,
apparently.
it is real.
No, it's not real
It's just
apparently. It's not there's like a such thing as mud, but apparently that's like a Hollywood like trope that's like made up, which is just and I'm like bullshit. It's just a rare consistency and I'm like and then I looked it up. Is quicksand real? And then I found a whole article like, yeah, no, that's bullshit and it's basically just became a Hollywood trope that and I still don't know if I trust that article cuz I'm like, no, dude, that used to be a thing. We'd be playing as kids and we'd be like, "Oh, help! I got caught in quicksand!" And we would like,
Well, it was in the ultimate survival guide. That's how I learned about it first, which tells you it gives you actual real survival tips in, like, crazy
yeah,
scenarios, like and I don't know. So I always just thought it was probably something that we wouldn't encounter because it's not somewhere where people live,
yeah.
and it's like
Don't move your feet. The more you fight it, the quicker you'll sink. You got to stay real still. Let me get a long stick to get you out. Like all those things. Like I'm thinking, I'm
I
thinking it's a
hear it.
bunch of baloney, which it blows my mind. So I still want to know, but then part of me is like, is this one of those things that's like the oh boy, the Mandela effect, where like
Let's not even
you don't want
go
to go
there
down
on
a
this show.
Mandela effect, like a
I really don't.
Berenstain Bears.
I can explain to you how memory works and consolidation. I can give you the scientific explanation about how none of that's real, but the people I have actually given scientific explanations to don't seem to care. So I just stop wasting my breath on things like that.
I don't know if you're watching Peacemaker, but they do a
Mm-mm.
little bit where they're talking about Berenstain Bears and Berenstein Bears, and it's the or Berenstein Bears, and it's the same argument I've had with people, so it was really funny on the show. But Rajneesh says, "Chill and have a good time. Don't put her on a pedestal. She's human and probably
Yeah.
going to be nervous as well. Be the best version of yourself and get to know her. And what I'll say is." Just be yourself because here's the deal. You're right. You've already put her on a little bit of a pedestal in your mind.
Hmm.
If she sucks, she sucks. And and there's nothing you can really do about I'm just saying
Or
like
you're just incompatible.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying like be yourself. Don't go in there and try I mean, be polite, try to be the best version of yourself, but don't be a version of somebody else because if y'all are incompatible, it's going to be obvious and I
Hmm.
mean, it's better to find out ahead of time. Don't if you know, if you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to tell her I game because and you know, because I don't want her to think that I'm irresponsible or that I'm doing childish things, but that's one of my favorite things to do. I don't want to tell her that I rent this house because I want her to think that I have more money than I do. Whatever, like don't bullshit this person. Just be straight up, be yourself from the get go, and if it matters, then it'll affect it. If anything that you do or are or who you are isn't compatible with her, she's not going to stick around, and then you won't get attached to this person that you aren't compatible with. So anyway, Mia, look frozen. Boy, this is strange. This is a strange stream. Mia, you look like you are mad right now. Mia looks mad. All right. I'm gonna see if Mia's not even here. Haha, she's gone. Well, gang, I'm sure I'm gonna hear from her in just a second. She'll be tuning back in. What an exciting stream. Here she comes. Haha. It's Mia. Mia, what's up? What a crazy. You got to go back and watch the stream. The expression I was given my rant about how being the real you matters, and if she doesn't like it, so what? Blah blah blah. And then it froze, and you're making this face like this.
No.
Just like what I said is a bunch of bullshit.
Make good faces.
Yeah.
I don't know why it froze. You know what? I've had weird internet issues all day. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. I think the storm or something's affecting it.
Yeah, we'll just blame it on the cold. It's all good. Doesn't matter. This is the Chaos 2022 stream right now.
I was gonna add on to. I didn't hear everything you said, but I know it was just kind of rooted in like just be yourself.
What did you say? That it was just kind of rude?
No, it was rooted in just be yourself, is what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just saying, some people are terrible people and suck. Some people are awesome. That's like the dumbed down, like, yeah, man, some people are radical. Like, but it's just, you'll know right away. Like,
I feel like I've tried to not be myself, because I am myself, but I've done things in relationships where I tried really hard to make sure everything was always good. And when I was like fuming pissed, not letting the other person know that, and instead just like waiting till I was calmer and be like approach it in this like really calm manner where I was like, that thing that happened, can we talk about it? And I look back on that and I'm just like, that was not me. I was mad. I was mad at that situation, and I never let that person know I was mad ever. And it didn't work out. And I would say that I have a part to play in that and it not working out, because I wasn't being true to myself, because I was worried that it would end. And guess what? It ended anyway.
Yeah, and how much more
So be yourself always, because I'd rather them it end because of true incompatibility than like masking something. And it ends anyway. Can we make that echo?
I can try.
Do you know how to do that? Wait, don't mess with anything. We're gonna
anyway. I can do it on me, not on you. I mean, try it. Say it.
Anyway.
Way.
Oh,
yeah. Don't touch anything. We're just grasping at straws here.
We're trying to get our sea legs.
And
it's a sea legs kind of a day.
You articulated that better than I could. I'm like been messing with so many.
I didn't even hear what you said, and I came in completely blind and articulated it better than you. What?
Yeah, I pretty much said it about as dumbed down as you could say it. Like, well, if she sucks, she sucks, and you're not gonna get along. So just be yourself, bro. And if y'all get along, it'll be excellent. It's like, yeah, no, but it's true. You don't want to waste any time. Oh, I don't want to push this person away, so I'm going to pretend, and then later I'll just push them away when I get comfortable. Push them away now. If anything, like we're used to
push them away now. Don't push them away. Just be yourself and realize. Hopefully, two people can be like, "Hey, this isn't working out," and we can end amicably. And it did. My situation did end amicably, which was great.
And also, you got to step on a few grenades to figure out where the boundaries are. You know what I mean? Like, at least with me, yeah, like, okay, blah, 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 blah. Like, hey, that's not cool. I don't like that. Or, hey, blah, 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 blah. Like, when you just dip your French fries in my ketchup on my plate, that's unacceptable. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's the boundary. You got to learn what the boundaries are. You know what I mean?
I can't believe you just said that, because we can't get into this on the show.
The great Clintini knows all. It's only because
Yeah,
I watch you
but
from afar when you're out on
that's
dates.
really sweet of you.
With
Thank you
binoculars,
for stalking me.
I'm
God,
like in
I
the
have a
corner.
stalker?
Mhm.
It's true though, like, when you talk about consent, if some I feel like you shouldn't joke about consent in food situations because I personally feel like that perpetuates bigger consent issues. So let's just say, for example, you ask me for a fry on my plate.
Well, if I'm paying for dinner anyway, what does it matter? They're my fries.
Okay,
That
no,
sounds like a
that's
typical
not
dumb
not
guy
the
thing to say.
hypothetical situation I was putting you in. Ask me for a fry.
Hey, can I hey, you can eat those? Hey, can I get one of
No,
those?
you can't have a fry.
Really?
And then you go and take one anyway. Okay, you took one anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the situation. So I told you no and you did it anyway because you thought I was being playful. But I don't think that's right. I think no should always mean no in every situation, no matter what. Even if I was being playful, it would be really nice to just see someone just be like, oh, okay. I even do that. This happened with my son last night, actually. He was eating something and I was like, hey, can I have a bite of that? And he was like, no, it's mine. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, cool, that's your food. I'm not going to eat it. He was joking. He was going to totally let me have a bite, but I didn't go in for the bite anyway because he said no. And even if the no was a joke, I'm sorry. No should always mean no. No, and I'm not sorry. That's another thing. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry as a woman for saying this. Dang it. What is this show doing? This is a weird
You know what?
show.
And you know what I'd do? I would be like, okay, hey, where you going? Oh, I'm just grabbing my Xbox and putting it in my bedroom. Wait, why? It's like, yeah, that's cool. You don't want to share? I don't.
See, you shouldn't joke about it's not about not wanting to share. It's just that like if you say no, that should be a boundary that's respected regardless of the situation.
Absolutely. Um,
And so you shouldn't joke about things. You shouldn't joke about
are you
consensual
telling me
things
I
if you don't
shouldn't joke
actually
about
mean no.
something right now, or are you saying when you're on a date you shouldn't joke?
I feel like you shouldn't joke about anything. You shouldn't use no as a joke if you don't actually mean no.
Oh,
Because
oh,
small jokes like that equate to bigger things later.
yeah. You saying you shouldn't tease you like when you're trying to flirt and tease somebody, you shouldn't joke about saying no with your French fries because you were giving false flags, kind of
Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm
kind
saying.
of
I'm
like
saying that that joke should be taken out of everybody's thing. We should no longer make jokes like that. I feel like those are small things that build up to bigger types of things about boundaries and consent. And they might go in and they might be subconscious and they live down there. So when bigger things happen, I don't know. It's a lot bigger of a situation, and I think if I do my own podcast, which I've been thinking about, I will talk about it more extensively.
you could say no, you can't have one of my French fries. Just kidding, I was being flirty. But in other situations, if I say no, it means no, and if you don't listen to me, I'll cut you in your sleep. Here's a French fry.
That's incredible. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's. Speaking of sleep,
Oh
here,
gosh. How many
yeah,
we've had so many sleep
yeah, but
questions.
this is a different one. I started attacking my wife in my sleep.
Oh my god.
She knows it wasn't on purpose. What should I do? This is really a messed up one because this person actually woke up like like choking his wife and like and she was like, hey, like what the hell, and so
Oh my
he's
god.
had kind of a troubled childhood and stuff, but he's like a very passive guy. And I read this thing, I'm like, wow. And he's a passive guy, and he's not like he's not a violent person whatsoever, but he has lived a troubled life. And he doesn't know what to do, and his wife didn't make a big deal about it, and the next day they didn't say much about it, but he's like really upset about it. You know what I mean? He's like, dude, that's messed up. And I was completely
Yeah.
asleep, and to wake up like that is horrifying. And I think the only answer is what we tell everyone is therapy, man. You got to go see some kind of trained professional, and two bartenders on the internet aren't going to give you the proper advice on
Yeah.
on what to really do, except like you need to see a medical professional, because there's
I would
this.
say therapy. And maybe if you could sleep in separate rooms for a little bit if it seems like something that could be dangerous. I have a friend a long time ago who had very bad PTSD. He was one of the first sets of troops deployed in the last big war, and and he was infantry, so it was pretty awful on him. And he would do weird sleepwalking things, like, and some of them were just kind of mild, strange, like, he would walk into the kitchen and grab an onion and start eating it like an apple,
Whoa.
and he would have no, and then he'd just go back to bed. And the next day, there's like an onion with a bite out of it, like next to him in bed. But then when he started seeing this girl, and this was the first time he had been with someone since,
And
he
be,
had been getting treated for all this stuff, and he was home and out of the military at this point. He started, because same situation. He woke up in the middle of like choking her,
oh, yeah,
and
I
it
was gonna say,
became
be
like a
careful
huge.
not to give too much information about this person if you think it could get back to him. Like, you know what I mean? You don't want to embarrass
Yeah,
your
yeah.
friend.
So it was just like it was a horrible situation, and it turned into like, needing a lot of help, a lot of help, a lot of therapies and things like that. And eventually they ended up sleeping separately for a good long time while he was kind of going through trying to figure out what was going on. I don't know how that resolved, because I haven't been in touch with these people for like, 15 years, but it
Yeah.
was pretty crazy.
That's great. No, like I've myself in my sleep been in some weird dream where I was like fighting or something, and I was kicking and stuff, and actually like whacked and hit and woke up because I was in
Wow.
the bed where it was against the wall, and actually whacked the wall, and that woke me up because my hand hit the wall. I was like, whoa.
Mhm.
And that woke me up, and I was lying next to my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, whoa. And another time I actually like went the other one and like smacked her on the chest and woke her up in the middle of the night. And that was probably 25 when that happened, 28
That's
or something. It was a
crazy.
million years ago. But yeah, and I'm like, what? And me, I'm not a violent guy at all, so I don't know what kind of weird
Yeah.
dreams somebody's trying to drag me and throw me in a swimming pool in my dream, and I'm like, get off me, guys, or what. I mean, there's no telling what kind of weird dream I was having.
You were
But
just playing, like, Warped Tour or something in your
yeah,
dream and just really going at it.
I'm like, no, I don't
Um,
want to go on the Tonight Show. No, but it's weird. Something like that. Definitely seek some help. Talk to a
yeah.
PTSD therapist that can give you some suggestions and some real stuff. But definitely don't not do anything. You got to do something about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I saw
I
that
think
one.
the
That's a crazy one.
It is crazy. I think the weirdest thing that's ever happened like that to me was I I swear to you my alarm went off. I heard it so loud and clear, but I don't have memory of turning it off. It was just going off in my dream, I guess. And I woke up and I went and got my son up, got him dressed for school, got him fed. He was sitting at the kitchen table eating. And at this time, I guess the only clock that we had was my phone. Like, I guess I didn't have the microwave or the oven or any of those clocks set. So I didn't see the time for a little while. He's eating cereal, and I just kind of go lay back down in bed to scroll through my phone till he's ready to go. And I look, and it's 3 a.m.
Did he know what
And
time it
I
was?
go, huh?
Was he like in the like at the table eating his cereal and stuff, getting ready for
He thought it, I mean,
y'all
I
both? You
thought,
tricked him into thinking it was morning time, basically.
he woke up, he was extra groggy, and I remember thinking, "Why do I feel so uncomfortably tired if it's 7 in the morning?" And when I laid back down in bed and I looked at the phone, it was 3 a.m. and it was like, how do you recover from this? So I just kind of went out there and I said, Avon, so we have to go back to sleep for 4 more hours. And he's just like, "What?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. I'll explain when we get up later. Just finish your cereal and go back to bed." I don't really know. It was the weirdest thing. And he was like maybe 6 years old. So, and now he's 10. So he likes to remind me of that weird parenting moment often. He'll be like, "Remember that time?" And I'm like, "Yes. Yes, I do. I remember that time. It was very strange for me too." And, like, I wish I could say something crazy like I had been drinking all night and I woke. No, I don't do anything. I mean, at that time, I very rarely ever drank. So I don't know. It was strange. Got my kid up and ready for school at 3 a.m.
That's hilarious.
What if I hadn't looked at the clock and we
What
get in
if
the car and we've driven?
I would hope that you
And
would
I'm
have
like,
known when you
nobody's
got in the car.
here.
Oh, that's so
I've heard
weird.
funny things like that. Like people get up on a Saturday and get their kids ready for school, but it's at like normal time, not at this weird, I don't know.
I've shown up to work and I was at the wrong place that I worked. Where I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to be at this other bar, and I showed up to the wrong bar in the wrong uniform too. So I had like wrong shirt on, and I had to like, they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh crap, it's Saturday, and then which is super embarrassing because everybody in the building laughs at you while you go sulk
Yeah,
out the door.
exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Here's a funny one. When I was a teenager, I got banned from a grocery store for stealing a toy. It was a stuffed animal, actually. It's been years. I'm going to visit my folks. Do you think I can go back to the store? Will facial recognition recognize me? I know they've got facial recognition and cameras at this store when I shoplifted when I was a kid. Do you think I could get arrested for going back there? Maybe there's like a restraining order that could get me in trouble if I go back to this Kroger's that I shoplifted a stuffed animal when I was 15. No, you're not going to get in trouble. They're not going to
Nobody
remember
cares.
you.
Also, it's a pandemic, so hopefully you're wearing a friggin' mask over your face.
That
I mean, you're fine,
yeah,
dude.
that answer right there. But first off, they what they were aiming to do was scare the living crap out of you for shoplifting. The whole reason you didn't get
Yeah,
arrested in the
exactly.
first place is because they didn't want to press charges. So I doubt they even filed a report or any kind of. They didn't. They just you got in
Yeah.
trouble. They let you go. You were a kid, and now
When I
you're a grown
worked
man.
in
You're a grown
retail,
up, and you're paranoid. You're like, they're gonna recognize me. You think they
yeah,
even work
that's
there
weird.
still? Highly
It's
unlikely.
not even the same, yeah, it's not even the same people. When I worked at Hot Topic. I worked at Hot Topic when I was a teenager. I was 16, and they have alarm systems now. They actually got installed while I was there, but previously to that, they didn't have the sensors, and people would steal stuff constantly. They just rip off the thing and steal it. You didn't even have to rip off the thing because we didn't have an alarm system, but we would so this was like actually in staff meetings, and I don't know if they're still like this or if it was just the management that I worked for specifically, but they were like, we never press charges for stealing. We shame the crap out of them in front of their parents or whatever and make sure they feel awful, but we never press charges because a few months later that mom's going to come in with that kid and spend $200 or $300 on new clothes and crap. So we never ban anyone. And I was like, that's so crazy. And it was kind of like I've never stolen anything from a store. I wasn't that person, but if I worked at Hot Top, and I had a lot of friends who would jack stuff from stores when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
Literally, like, why would they tell us that in a staff meeting? I was 16, turned 17 while I worked there. Who's to say that I'm not going to be like, hey guys, we don't do crap for stealing at my store. Just come jack whatever you want. Like it was so weird. I felt like I wasn't the right one they should have been telling that to. Like I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird situation. Then they
You're
got the alarm, the two thingies that you walk through and it goes off, but they didn't have that for quite a while at that mall. So a
you're like
lot of merchandise got stolen from Hot Topic.
you're like, do they know how shady I am? Like, I totally should be giving me that information. It. I wonder how many Ritalin kids T-shirts got stolen from Hot Topic. My band had their shirt in Hot Topic.
I folded your shirt.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was definitely on the wall around that time that I worked there.
Yeah.
What year do you think your shirts were there?
Ooh, 2002 to
Yeah. So this is a
2000.
little bit after that.
It was like 2002 to probably 2004,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
I mean, I hated that t-shirt wall. I hated folding those shirts so much.
Who's texting me here? All right. Well, let's see what else we got. Shoplifting. I'm always tired. I'd like to be more productive, but I just want to sleep. Is this normal? Come on, man. That's like the age-old question that everyone says, and like, I want to be productive, but I'm tired. What do you
Yeah.
do?
You
Well,
do a lot of things.
yeah. Well, one thing this person was talking about, it was also was like, hey, like like I think this is not even the same one. No, this is a
Oh no.
completely different
Don't give
question.
context for the wrong
Yeah, it
question.
is. They were tired. Man, we're all tired. But one thing you don't want to discount is maybe there's something physically wrong with you. So you should probably go get a checkup and get some
I was
labs.
gonna say that,
Because
yeah.
sometimes people are just tired. Sometimes people are depressed and it makes them tired. Sometimes people have diabetes and it makes them tired. Sometimes people, there's a
Sometimes
million.
you have a yeah. I would say I would totally agree with that. Start with just going and making sure that there's nothing else going on in your body. If this sudden tiredness is new, um, go have labs run. Sometimes it's thyroid, sometimes you have vitamin deficiency, sometimes it's none of that, and it's just freaking pandemic fatigue. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, look at the world we're in right now and how much we've gone through in the last 2 years. I think everyone is completely burnt out, and there's no time to get recover because just as things start to settle out, it's right back to insanity. So, there's that. Then there's also diet. Look at your diet. And then there's look at exercise. I know it's hard to start an exercise, and I've been the worst at it. I just barely started back this week, but I will say that my energy level, just the small amounts of working out I've done this week, has shot up. And we talk about it on the show all the time. I am a literal lay around, do nothing, scroll through my phone all day person. And this week I have cleaned my house top to bottom and gone through every single drawer and nook and cranny and organized, and it's been so insanely productive. And all I've done is eaten more salads and friggin' worked out 25 minutes every few days, and it's been incredible, the spike in my energy levels. And then sleeping, try not to oversleep. How many times are you like, gosh, I'm really tired, but you slept 10 hours and you wake up just exhausted because you probably overslept. You probably needed to wake up at 8 hour instead of hour 10, you know? If you have no, like, I'm home so much, and I'm in a break from school and all that, and it's just so much time to like fall into that slump. And then maybe there's some depression in there
Yeah.
and
It
other stuff going on.
could be up here. It could be in here. It could be back here. It could be anywhere. It could be
Be
around
anywhere.
you. Maybe you got black mold in your walls and you're sick. And like, there's a gajillion different things. A lot of people are tired, and there's a lot of different causes. But I think
Go on walks.
go on walks, and I think getting a checkup with your doc is a good first step.
I
And
go on
exercise.
if the weather's nice, I go on a walk every day with my kid. And it really does help
I
my
walk my
mental
kid
health and
twice a day.
everything. Your kid is furry and has 4 legs.
Yeah, and she likes to go on walks. Yes, and
I
another,
heard she only goes on walks because you give her treats when you get back.
of course. Well, she has to go on the walks so she can get rid of the old treats, and then when she gets back, I give her new treats. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
I see.
wow.
Here, this is how you get out of it. You have to have someone that is willing to treat you when you get treats incentives.
That's right. And another thing too, sometimes your surroundings can get you down, and sometimes things that are going on in your life. I could tell you, I've had a difficult month, and a lot of the other things in this month have not been much different, like out of place as far as just normal work and other things going on. And I'm way more I've been tired, exhausted, and like there's things that can be like mentally and emotionally draining. And and I've experienced that this week. I'm like, man, am I eating crappier? What's going on? Because
Yeah.
I'm like tired all the time, and sometimes you just need to rest your brain. And so there's so many things. And which is I'm gonna segue into this next question here, which is, I have a hard time keeping up with chores. Is this normal? With someone with ADHD, anxiety, depression, got any tips? And
Ooh, I have a great tip for this
Yes.
actually, because I'm currently going through this.
Before we get into that tip, I just want to say sometimes when your surroundings are cluttery and dirty like that, and you just can't muster the the energy to, like, you just get tired and you're looking around. But if you just make yourself get up and wash those dishes or do what, start those chores, once you get those things done, just the basics, you're going to
Yeah.
feel better and you're actually going to be less tired. But it's almost depressing sometimes to be in an environment where you're like just looking at all the things that need to be done. So just find a way to
Yeah.
make yourself do it. Now let's go to Mia. What were you going to
Well,
say?
and it seems overwhelming when you're looking at the big picture of all this stuff, and that's my problem. So I'm currently going through the process of getting my ADHD diagnosis, which probably should have happened when I was very young, but it doesn't matter. I'm here and now. And something that has been changing my life over the last couple of weeks, but I really put it into practice this week was so keeping lists is great, but with ADHD, you have memory problems. So, remembering to look at that list kind of sucks. So, I would say keep the list on your phone and set a reminder that pops up to look at the list. Okay. So, yeah, Rajni says write down your chores and daily tasks. But this is where the amazing thing that is really starting to slowly change my life has kicked in. So, I realized a lot of times with ADHD, you forget appointments and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I have a lot of ADHD symptoms. However, I don't ever forget my doctor's appointments, my kids' doctor's appointments, dentists. I am always, well, try to be on time to those appointments. I never forget them. And it's because the amount of reminders I set for myself. So if you're a Google person, if you have a Gmail account or you use Google things on your phone, I use a Google Calendar and I just found Google Tasks. And in Google Tasks, you can literally have task lists written down. And I have one that's just like an ongoing rolling task list, things I need to finish. I need to finish painting this section of the bathroom. I need bigger projects. And then I have everyday small daily things. And I'm not even kidding, even down to as small as remove empty shampoo bottles from the shower, because that is a huge one of the things. There'll be an empty bottle in there for like 6 months. I'm not even kidding. So all these tasks are in lists, and when I know that I have the time for them, I will click on the task and I will add a time for it. So let's just say, for example, I cooked dinner and I'm laying in bed and I'm digesting, and I probably won't get to those dishes, but I know I have the time to. I will add do dishes into the list. And then at one point I'll click on it and I will literally schedule myself to go into the kitchen and do the dishes. And I will write in there do dishes, and then I'll schedule it from like 8:30 or 8 to 8:30. And when that alarm goes off, I'm like, okay, I said I was going to do it, so I'm going to get up and do it, and then I do it. I will schedule working out. Right now, I'm just home. I haven't started class back yet. My kid's at school, and I just have all this time, and I could just go work out whenever I wanted to, but it wasn't motivating me to actually do it. So I started scheduling it. Even if it doesn't matter, it was motivation to do it. I literally scheduled taking the empty shampoo bottles out of my shower from like 3 to 3:05 one day, and I went and I freaking did it. So I'm breaking everything down into smaller tasks and I scheduled it. If I really wanted to go clean out that junk drawer, I freaking scheduled it. I'm cleaning that drawer from 2 p.m. to 2:30 today, and I am going to do it for that amount of time. And bam, it is like, I wish somebody had told me this. I was telling this to my dad too, and he's like getting concerned that I was going to have all these alarms going off on my phone to do all these tasks. And he was like, that will get really annoying. And I'm like, I am so productive right now. It's not annoying. It's incredible. I cannot believe the amount that I've accomplished in these last 7 days by doing it this way. I don't know. Maybe it would be annoying for some people, but for me, it's fantastic. My freaking kitchen's clean. My entire house is clean top to bottom. And I've never been more productive in my life. And I couldn't recommend doing this more if you have ADHD and trouble starting and finishing tasks. There you go. That's my advice.
That's incredible. Um, I mean, I need to look into some of that.
Schedule. There's
I'm
socks on the floor that I've passed for friggin' 4 days. Schedule 1 full minute that you were literally gonna go pick those socks and put them away. It may seem ridiculous, but it has helped me do all these things.
I've got a different kind of similar kind of a thing, and I have everybody knows I've got ADHD, and I was a singer for a band called Ritalin Kids, for Pete's sake, and I've been dealing with this for years. But I make routines, and I
Yeah.
am a weirdo where people are like, "You go to the grocery store every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday?" Like, yes, every single time.
That's incredible. Yeah,
Uh,
that's so helpful.
but like those routines, it's on my way home from work on those days where I always work those days. I always go to the bank on those certain days. But when I wake up, when I make coffee, which I always have coffee first thing when I wake up, while my coffee's brewing, I wash dishes, and I know that I'm going to wash the dishes. And so while I'm doing that, I'm knocking the dishes out, and I drink coffee
Yeah.
every day so my dishes don't ever pile up too bad, unless
Yeah.
I'm like running super late and I have to run and do something else. But almost always I can knock out the dishes in the time it takes to do my coffee, and I multitask, and I create routines towards like, now that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know how to make coffee without washing dishes. They're joint tasks.
They're connected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
That's
connected. I
incredible.
used to do something similar where I just program myself every morning. First thing I would do is do push-ups and crunches, and then I go run 2 miles. And I wouldn't allow myself, I've told you this before, I wouldn't allow myself to brush my teeth until I knocked that out. So part
Yeah.
of brushing my teeth became working out, and then I get to
Yeah.
the reward of brushing my teeth. Then I can take a shower, then I can eat
These are
breakfast, and then
all
and
great coping
yeah, and
mechanisms.
it's like otherwise I will brush my teeth and then see a
Mhm.
squirrel over here and end up working on something else, and then
Yeah.
next thing you know it's noon and I didn't ever work out. So I'm like, no, the first thing I do when I open my eyes is stretch and like say, "Oh, I don't really feel like doing this." And then I
Yeah.
say, "Okay, you have to do this." And then I get up because I can't brush my teeth, and that's the only thing I want to do right now is get the morning breath out of my mouth. But I can't do that until I run. So I do that, and like
It's
everything.
almost a work reward program
Yes,
that you're
almost.
setting up for yourself.
And
It's fantastic.
yeah, and then also now what I'm getting into now is like my life's getting more complicated because I'm starting to trying to get more voiceover stuff done. I've also got
Mhm.
this live stream. I also have a small screen that I do on Fridays. I also have I have all these shows, and then I'm also trying to do voiceover, and I got to get auditions done and whatnot. And so I'm trying to set schedules where I promote from where I'm going to get up, work out, run, and from this time to this time, come back, shower, plan out, sit down, and then knock out social media promotion for different things, upload whatever videos I need to do,
Yeah.
and then from 11 to 1 p.m. I'm going to do voiceover auditions. That's that time. And then I'm also, when I'm done with that, then I could switch over to, if I'm working on a video or some other thing, or I need to do
Mhm.
research for something else, do that afterwards. And then if I have to go work a bartending shift, because I do still do that a few days a week, then I know I'm gonna leave and be done by this time. And so I have to like compartmentalize every single thing. And part of it too is the night before scheduling all that and thinking about
Yeah.
everything I have to. Okay, tomorrow.
Scheduling's incredible.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, tomorrow I got to get up, work out, got to do that. Then I got to do the voiceover. Then I got to make sure I upload the videos, and then I make sure, okay, and I write all of that down in a list. And then and so when I go to bed, I know all of what I have to do. And then when I wake up in the morning, when I'm being lazy and don't want to get up, I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, I have to get up, dude. I have 5 things, and I have to bartend. I have to get all these tasks done before I can leave to go to work. You know what I mean? So I have
Yeah.
to get up, and so like just making lists of that stuff. But
Having it scheduled.
part of it is also the same way that I know that every morning when I'm making my coffee, I'm going to wash my dishes. I need to make sure that before I allow myself to unwind and watch TV and go to bed, that I make the schedule for tomorrow. I have to
Right.
write down my schedule for whether I do it on my phone or on a piece of paper or whatever, but get my schedule down for tomorrow. Then I can reward myself because I know
Yeah.
I've got it loaded. Tomorrow is loaded and cocked and ready to go, and now I can watch Peacemaker before I go to bed or whatever. So anyway,
Well, yeah, and I mean, think that's what I was saying as far as scheduling, and that's scheduling just normal stuff. And I found that scheduling these smaller tasks is just incredibly improved my life. And so then that's one I mean, I don't know if this happens to you, but how many times, and maybe not because you seem more disciplined and you've worked for years to have these coping mechanisms. But for me, I will have, a coffee cup next to my bed for like 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And it's like I'm blind to the fact that it's even there. So if I schedule, if I put it in my task list that says, take that coffee cup to the dishwasher, and then I go, okay, I'm going to actually schedule the 1 minute that it will take to do this. And when I schedule it, it pops up on my phone and says, take the call. And I go, okay, I'm going to do it. And I do it. And I've been doing that all week. And I think what you were saying is it's like a work reward for you in your mind. And maybe this type of scheduling won't work for the person that asked this question. But I think finding what your like incentive kind of thing is, and then breaking down every task into smaller tasks has been incredible for me. Like I don't have to tackle it all at once. And then yeah, I totally forgot the last thing I was going to say
well,
cuz
well, I could say it's
cuz
like
that's what we're talking about,
the,
ADHD, and so the
these
thought
tasks
literally
though.
just
What squirrel? No, well, these tasks
for
we're
real,
talking
for
about,
real.
they sound like real basic, like, oh, like every day throwing away a shampoo bottle, or like this cup has been sitting there for 2 weeks over on this
Yeah,
on this
so
table over here.
maybe you should put it in your schedule,
Yeah.
or then, or
Well,
you know what I mean? And it seems so silly, and maybe I won't always have to schedule these things, and it will become stuff that's routine. Like you connect, you're making your coffee to do your dishes. And maybe I will start connecting these things together. This one ADHD person recommended, like, when you have the shampoo bottles that are empty, she's like, I throw them out. She's like, just throw them out of the shower and then they're on the floor. Well, I tried that. There was a freaking bottle on the floor for a week in the middle of the floor of my bathroom. And I was like, cool. And I was blind that it's there. You become blind to the things that, and so, oh, I do remember what I was just going to say. The other thing that helps immensely, and that's what I've been working on this week, is organizing everything. I realized I can't function unless everything has a place. I need everything to have a place. And so that means like nothing cannot have a home in my house.
yeah,
And so that's what I'm really working towards right now, is like, this goes here every single time. So that way, when I'm done with it, it goes back there every single time. The mouthwash can't sometimes live on the counter, but then sometimes on this side of the cabinet, but then sometimes on this side of the cabinet. No,
yeah, yeah.
there's now a mouthwash place and it's going to always be in that place, things like that. It's just been helping me out a lot. Everything has its own spot. And getting rid of stuff.
That's nice
If
though
you
too,
haven't
because you
touched
know
it
where
during the whole pandemic, you don't need it to get rid of it.
you can always find your mouthwash too if it has a place. You know what I mean? That's good.
Yeah, and that helps with not losing stuff or forgetting where you put stuff, because God, memory is really hard with this kind of brain, let me tell you.
What's funny
I
too is
literally forgot a thought in the middle of talking about it just now.
with all this stuff, like I'm talking about all these steps that I'll set up for myself. If I don't have a plan for the day, I have zero concept of time. Like I will wake
Right?
up,
Time blindness is
I
huge.
will wake up and then just like bumble around. Yes, I'll get up and I'll end up doing the dishes because I make my coffee when I
Yeah.
wake up. But I will bumble around, and then all of a sudden I'm like,
It's 4
dude,
PM.
it's 4. What did
Yeah.
I do today? I don't even
Where does
know.
that where and how does that even happen? It's so insane to me.
It's like
I
time
was just
travel.
talking about this with somebody earlier, how if I find a new Instagram account and it's usually an artist because I'm big into art and I am really into their work, I'll be in the middle of watching a TV show at night, laying in bed, and I will find this Instagram account because I'm looking at my phone simultaneously. I will pause my show and I will end up probably scrolling to the very bottom of this person's account. We're talking thousands of posts. And the next thing I know, a whole hour's gone by. It's 1 a.m. Like I started maybe looking at their profile at like 12:15 and I spent 45 minutes. It's 1 a.m. And I'm like, how is that even possible? Time blindness is a huge thing and it's so freaking frustrating.
Yeah, it's definitely a good reason for you not to be on TikTok. Definitely, definitely not a.
That's what I'm saying. I'm already so bad about Instagram. Do I really need another one? You know what I mean? Like, I get enough of the TikTok bleed over into Instagram that I don't think I need TikTok on its own.
Well, you're actually you would be actually providing the distraction. You wouldn't be receiving the distraction. You would be creating the distractions if you had your own channel. That's
But I don't have the discipline for that right now.
yeah.
Too much other stuff going
You
on.
just got to put it on your list. Just schedule your
I could
comedy.
do that. I really could.
Yeah.
Do we have comments?
Yes, we do. First off, you're supposed to shower after you work out? Yes. It
Thanks, McGrath.
sounds basic, but I'm telling you, man, there's like it's real easy to bumble around.
It is really easy.
I have a trash can right next to the shower, big trash can, and I'll tip like I'll drop them out into the trash can from in the shower, which is pretty funny.
You don't
That's
recycle?
yeah, well, yeah, sometimes.
You're like, no, I don't. I just admitted that. As a teen, I'd be happy lifting weights and spending the rest of my time playing video games all day, but now I can only do that if I feel like I've earned it. Yeah, it's a work reward program. And you know what? Sometimes we get to just do things, right? I feel like people sometimes take that to the absolute extreme and then they don't allow themselves. They beat themselves up or make themselves feel guilty because they didn't get enough done. So they don't deserve this thing. And I've really tried to let go of beating myself up over stuff. Like, another whole day went by and I got not one thing done. And for me, it's like if I haven't cleaned something that day or then I haven't earned, playing Fortnite or I haven't, and that's if it works to help keep you motivated throughout the day, that's great, but not taking it to the extreme to where you're like really hard on you're punishing yourself. Don't punish yourself. You only get one life, and seriously, if you're at the end of your life, I doubt you're going to be like, God, I'm so glad I missed out on so much, video. You know what? I feel like just live your life. Don't throw it all out the window, but there's a balance. There should always be a balance. It should never be taken to the extreme.
Here's one. I'm pretty project oriented, and when I have stuff
Mhm.
that I need to get done that are on my list, like a lot of times I can't start my project until I get things cleaned up. It's like a form of procrastination where if there is
Yeah.
clutter in and like I have to get rid of all these bottles or like
Oh, yeah,
or like I
absolutely.
gotta like that laundry on the floor in the corner I gotta put and I will end up cleaning everything. Meanwhile, I'm mentally preparing myself for the project I'm about to do, and then I clean everything, and then and I'm like,
It's
dude, I spent an hour wasting time instead of getting started, but really I was planning out my project. But
But
it's
that's
weird.
also two things, what you just described, and that's huge in the ADHD brain. One is all or nothing thinking, and that's where everything has to be perfect before I can even start a task,
Hmm.
or you have to do it all perfectly or not at all. That's a lot of reasons why people don't start. It's a huge reason why I have a hard time starting like a new art thing because it's like, oh, I can't have it all the way I want it or perfect because maybe I can't afford to. So that's all or nothing thinking. And then that's also part of OCD in there is wanting everything to be in its place and set up before you can even begin, because otherwise it'll just kind of stay in your mind that that corner of the room is really messy. So yeah, everything you're describing is everything I'm learning about my brain and a lot of other people's brains. And when what's funny about learning that you have a neurodivergent brain and your friends are just like, oh yeah, like me too, oh I do that too, and you want to be like, no, I have this thing that you don't have, and then you go, oh crap, no, maybe everyone I know is like this, because
Yeah.
neurodivergent people tend to, magnet to other neurodivergent people. And I think about normal people and I'm like, I don't have any friends like that. None of my friends are those like prim and proper living there. No, I've never been drawn to people like that. And it's because, yeah, we have these weird brains that operate a little differently. And it's kind of cool, actually.
And is I mean anybody really normal, or does it? I mean, I think everybody has their quirks and has to figure out the best way for them to like. Some people are a little more challenged than others. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think most people, um,
I don't know. My new favorite game is putting people in hypothetical situations and asking them how they would go about doing something. And I'm learning that no, I do things real weird, real weird. Like I was like asking, okay, if you were gonna be doing this thing, how? And then I was talking to my mom, and she was like, well, I would just sit down and I would do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you
the
can just do that, like you can just sit and do it, and you don't have 10 million other things that are like you just sit and do it. Cool. That's cool. I wonder what that's like.
And there's also a weird thing, like some people classify themselves a certain way or will realize a certain thing about themselves, and then that defines how they're going to do stuff. And then there's other people that are old school. They're like, I don't have time to be this or that. You just get up and do it, and they're like
Yeah.
all these sensitive youngsters that are like this and that, like when back in the old days when we had to walk uphill both ways in 10 feet of snow, we didn't have time to have conditions. We just did stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's a
And you're like, no,
you just
nobody was
didn't know it.
diagnosing the conditions. Yeah, everybody had the conditions. Yeah, exactly. That's like one of my arguments too with anti-vaxxer people are like, we didn't see autism. I'm like, yeah, you did. It just wasn't being diagnosed in the way mental health wasn't taken seriously and these issues weren't taken seriously. Like, yeah, there was tons of autism. I can tell you right now, the kids in my elementary school classes that were neurodivergent, that were treated like freaking freaks and weirdos, and I bet anything that they grew up like and being like, oh, actually, I have this thing, right? And I wish somebody had just diagnosed it so I could have just kind of maybe lived a little bit easier and whatever. But
Well, let's see.
that was a
Now I'm
long
doing my old
tangent.
school voice. Rajni says, since we're on the subject, what do you think about hustle culture? Burning the candle at both ends to achieve your goals. Helpful or harmful? That's how I have lived
No.
my life, every quarter mile of my life. I live my life quarter mile at a time, if anybody didn't know that. But yeah, like that's hustle culture that you just heard me talking about it. I'm scheduling every second of my life instead of just having days off. Of course, I'm single.
Yeah.
Like I don't have, like I'm single, so if I wouldn't be allowed to do that. If I was in a relationship, I would have to like spend quality time and do things. But like I'm uh, I got 3 shows that I'm live streaming, constantly doing booking every second of my waking moment of doing something. That's how I live. And do you get burnout? Sure you do. You got to take a vacation every once in a while. You got to allow yourself to go out and have some dinner. You got to
Yeah.
you got to chill out
I'm
and
the
just
opposite
watch
of that
TV.
completely.
Like every second of my life I'm doing something, or I feel guilty if I'm not. I feel like I'm burning I'm running out of time, like my candle's burning out.
Yeah.
So, and maybe
See,
I
I'm
am.
the
I'm getting older.
opposite. I'm very much like YOLO. You only live once. You really need to enjoy your time. And I give myself a lot of time of relaxation and chill and just doing whatever the hell I want. I have that thought often that I said earlier about like when you're like on your deathbed, are you going to be like, thank God did X, Y, and Z? I just don't want to live with regrets. And I think while I work so hard being a single mom, being a student, doing all these things. I just got a freaking job today. I don't know where that's going to fit into the schedule, but like that my downtime, I kind of just want to just be a blob. And within hustle culture, I will say there's this false thing about that was what's going to make you successful or get you to achieve your dreams and stuff. Well, yeah, for some people, but there's a lot of luck in there too that we're not accounting for. And you can achieve stuff if you work really hard, but it's not always that. I feel like, you look at countries who have implemented these like 4-day work weeks with the like even shorter hours on those days and how much more productive those people are. It's crazy to me how those statistics, I think, is it where's the country that I'm thinking of that does this?
Europe does it
Where
does that a lot. Like a
but
lot of
there's this article that just came out that was like a big deal. It was like a country that tried to do it all over. I can't was it Stockholm? I don't know. One of the S's. And so yeah, just seeing that is people do need rest. You need time to rest. And no, that's not always vacation, Clint. Sometimes that's a Friday night where you lay on the couch and do nothing. Do you do that?
no.
Yeah, you need to.
I don't. Lately, I've done that and then felt guilty the whole time. Late
Why do you feel guilty though?
just cause I was like, I've got so much I got to do. See, you're like YOLO. I'm like, you only live once. I better hurry. I don't have much time left. Like, I'm already halfway through
Uh,
this adventure. The,
I'm just the lazy. I'm
this
not
is
lazy. I'm the lion laying in the sun where I'm just like, ugh, oh, I'm just gonna enjoy this because someday someone will kill me.
And I feel like this. I gotta get this done.
It's
I gotta get this
so
done.
I
It's
can't
over,
even
dude.
imagine.
Later, guys.
Every task that I do, like with school, I'm like, all right, how long is it going to take me to do this thing so that it can be over so that I can go lay down? Like that, I do everything is motivated by when do I get to lay down again? When do I get to be in a cozy bed or be laying in the sun or going to swim or getting to go do something with friends? And it is where I do accomplish all these tasks, I get everything done, but my incentive to get it done is so that I can do nothing. Like I want to do a whole lot of just eating and resting and some other fun tasks in there too.
And I'm gonna say before I even started reading Rajneesh's thing, I'm gonna respectfully disagree on the luck. I say you make your own luck. Like I think there's a lot of
I
elements.
don't
There's a lot of elephants. People used to tell me that, oh, you win the lottery. You won the lottery of getting a record deal. No, I worked and called and marketed and talked to the right people and worked my way into winning the lottery. It was not luck. Like I was smarter than other people that were more talented than I was. And they say it's what is it? Oh yeah, I think it's hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. That's what they say. Who are
That is
they?
true.
Who are they? I don't know, but I think you were right. You definitely have to have a balance, and you need to rest, and you will burn yourself out, and you will be less efficient and not think as clearly if you're not rested and you're burnt out. If you need to recharge your batteries so you could do better. But there's a balance. But I don't think like there's a lot of things. There's surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are in the industry. Like you are a percentage. You're the sum of like they say you're the sum of like the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. If you want to be an actor and you're just chilling at home and like that's not going to work. You got to go to acting school. You got to hang out with actors. You got to be around in the business. You want to be a stand-up comic, you got to do that too. And at least in I don't know about other fields, but I can tell you the entertainment business, you need to do that. And I'd say while you're capable, you should try to spend as much energy as you can. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
but there's an element of luck to everything you did too. Like, yes, you did hustle and you do all this, but like even you talking about like dropping your music off to the
I don't
radio
believe in
station.
luck. The
But I do think like it was the person that was there at that time that was like, it could have been someone else that was like, screw this and chunked that away. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there's a lot more that goes into it.
I
And I
I
am saying, Rajneesh, I'm not saying these talented people, he says 100% agree with Clint. I know too many talented people that screwed themselves by not working hard. I'm not saying not working hard, but I'm saying burning the candle at both ends is not the way to achieve your
for
goals. Everybody
absolutely
should work hard, but
absolutely.
but you have to have rest too. And
But
that's extremely important.
I just don't like the phrase. Oh, big part of it's luck. It's not. I called these people and followed up and called and hounded them and I beat them into submission and you can
I
do
think
it.
when I was saying that, it wasn't necessarily referring to these individual situations. I think it's referring to people that look up to people that had more privilege and not taking that into account and thinking that this idea that you can be a self-made billionaire is kind of, things like that. And, there's a funny meme that's going around right now. God, I wish I could find it. And it's basically about this, it's referring to his like, billion-dollar tech company or whatever it is. And then it's really funny. And it's like, it's an interviewer asking questions. And then the last answer is like, oh, and my dad owned, the company that got me started,
Oh,
something like that. So, uh, it's this idea that there's some people out there that work really, really, really hard, and we sell this idea to young people that if you just work hard, that you can be just like these millionaires and these billionaires, and that's absolutely untrue. And your privilege and your lot in life and a lot of other factors play super heavily into these things, regardless of your hustle. And it's not just working hard in every situation. Unfortunately, it's not. But
the hustle culture question. Rajneesh is a filmmaker, just to give some context. where he's
Yeah.
I think he's thinking from a creative creative point of view of trying to be
Yeah.
not trying to be. He's a good filmmaker. He's a great filmmaker. So
I
he's
mean,
just
I know filmmakers and actors and people
yeah.
that
In
they do
comics,
their and comics and people that have literally pour every ounce of their energy in every single thing they've ever done ever and still don't make it past a certain point. And then I know people that because of the situation, right place, right time, or whatever, or that they do end up making it past a certain point. So when I say luck, I don't mean that it's just like whatever the ether is bringing down to you. I some fake fantasy, magical thing. I just mean that there are circumstances and privileges that come into play in a lot of situations with a lot of things. But working hard is important. Rest is important too. Clint, I'm gonna make you rest.
yes, I need to. I need to do that. I've been thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, but I need to go sit on a beach in this 24-degree weather. Go sit at a beach somewhere.
Go sit at a beach. But even not just like a big vacation rest. A normal day.
Yeah,
Normal
then
day rest. Maybe maybe your dog can be the incentive for that, where it's
I don't know.
like
I feel like maybe I'd
it's
have to be listening to like a book or you notice I didn't say reading a book, listening to a book or something making use. And I do like
how would it be different because you're not seeing anybody right now, correct?
right.
So how would it be different if you were seeing someone and it was just like, okay, this Saturday you and I are going to, the park for a picnic. Is the whole time you're sitting there thinking like, I can't wait for this to be over so I can be going back to.
No,
Are
no.
you able to disconnect and be in the moment and chill and rest? Or
Sometimes.
she's like, we're gonna drive to Fredericksburg this weekend and stay in a Airbnb or a bed and breakfast and antique on the are you able to disconnect and be present for that?
Antiquing for sure. No, like well that
Okay,
becomes
that's one of my favorite things to do. So
I
please
like
don't knock it.
antiquing. Are you kidding? I think it's cool. Here's the deal. When I'm in a relationship with somebody, I enjoy spending the time with them. So
Yeah.
and it's like that's fun. So it's like yeah. And honestly, I'd rather be having fun hanging out with this person than doing a lot of the things that can be tedious and almost like chores. And
So I'm about to mic drop you.
creatively. So it's like so that's actually fun. And yeah, so it's not like oh I can't wait to man, I sure hate, like going out to dinner and hanging out and blah 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 with this person. I wish they would go to bed so I can go edit this thing. That's not how it is at all. That's just like
So
but
you totally just answered your own thing
so
though.
when I'm single, like it's like don't get me wrong. I'll sit there and watch the Book of Boba Fett and watch some movies and I'll go to the movies and I'll go out to eat and do different things. I will have me time. Uh,
Good.
yeah,
That's my whole point is giving yourself you time where you're actually disconnecting and not feeling guilty about it.
but the whole time I'm planning what I'm gonna do when I get home. Uh,
See, that's wrong. It's not the right
Constantly, I'm not just like
thing.
oh look at those are nice chandeliers. You know.
So you're literally saying, I'm not even kidding, you're literally saying you don't stop to smell the roses, Clint?
So it depends. It
Like
depends if the roses are
the
shaped like a
oldest advice, like the oldest age old advice ever, and you're literally like, no, I'm ignoring that.
if the roses are
Uh,
shaped like a chicken fried steak, taste like a chicken fried steak, and I'm like, these roses are delicious. Or if like it just depends. I like if Spider-Man No Way Home is the roses. Like yeah, that was 2.5 hours of relaxation and fun that. It just depends what I'm doing. But there's a
that
lot of
movie's two
things
and
like
a half hours.
what's that?
That movie's 2.5
Yeah, two
hours.
and a half hours, and I heard the new Batman's going to be 3 hours. Good
Yeah,
times.
that's why I
But
don't waste my time on those movies.
yeah, but also
To me,
like
that feels like time wasted.
no way. That's like that's recharging my batteries. Like I've always had a thing like I could turn my phone off for 3 hours and nothing terrible is going to happen while I'm in there. And then when I get out of the movie, I can like I can get back to work and get back to whatever, and it's cool. That's where movies have always been a fun escape for me.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
We have a few comments, and our show is running way long.
Man, we're going way long. How far? How far
Rajneesh
from?
says, "Yep, privilege exists, and as a minority, I know I have to work harder. If I didn't, I wouldn't have achieved certain things, and try not to use it as an excuse, even though I know it's unfair." And then he also says, "I'm off my soapbox." You're definitely not on a soapbox, and you're allowed to preach that all day long. I'll throw in some jokes to lighten the hat box. LOL.
Yes.
And then he said, "You guys excited for the Batman movie in March?" After I literally was just like, "Screw
Woo-hoo.
that! I would never." Yeah, I might see Batman is one of the ones that I usually make exceptions for, actually, because they're usually really, really good. I'm not a big Marvel movie person,
And
but
it's Robert Pattinson. He's gonna.
oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know it was Robert Pattinson? I call him
No.
Robert Pattinson now. You didn't
Oh,
know
because
that?
he's Batman. He's playing Batman.
Yeah.
Who's the lady?
What's her name?
Is this the one that Zoe Kravitz is going to be
Yes,
in as
that's what I was trying to
Catwoman?
think of Zoe Kravitz's name.
Ooh.
She's in it. Colin Farrell is the Joker, but he's got such
Oh,
like
that's
crazy
right. He plays no, he plays Penguin.
Penguin. That's what I meant.
And
But
I was
his
so
makeup is
excited.
so
Penguin's
crazy.
it's so good. It's more like the original comic. So that's my favorite villain. My favorite villain has always been Penguin, and I was so hoping for years that they would bring it back, and I'm excited they're gonna see. I can get excited for some of this stuff sometimes. This is exciting. I'm gonna see
Yeah.
the new. When you said new Batman, it went in one ear and out the other, and now that we're talking about the details, I
You're like
totally
not Ben
remembered.
Affleck again, but now that it's Robert Pattinson, you're like,
That's
yeah,
kind of a weird choice, but we'll see how that goes, how that pans out.
yeah.
But
He's
Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman,
yeah.
yummy. She's hottie, hottie patati.
Yeah, I was heard some people talking about it. They're like, yeah, they say when you have two good-looking parents, you have a hideous offspring. But in this case, it didn't happen.
No. Did you hear too that Lisa Bonet and what's his name just broke up, Jason
Yes,
Momoa?
yes, I did.
That's sad. They were so cute.
Yeah,
Such hottie patatis.
they were together for gosh, long time.
Longer than it seems like, right?
I
Because
think
I
that was
feel
like,
like they didn't get like kind of couple famous for a while after, and
yeah,
then because he blew up in stuff, then it was, oh, these two people are together. But
but they were together for like 15 or plus
yeah, a
years.
long time.
Yeah,
Definitely a long time. I couldn't even imagine what it's like to be with someone for that long.
I know.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna see what We're not gonna play that game today. We're gonna save
Yeah,
that one
I think
for
we
the
we
future.
ran we ran long.
Way over. Uh, okay. If you can't, if we're gonna fly through these last two because we got stuff to do.
Okay.
But yeah, hey, I got COVID. Basically, this couple, me and my wife both got COVID at the worst possible time, and now we can't afford rent and other bills coming up this month. What the hell do we do? There are programs and stuff. You need to
Yeah.
call your phone company, your light company, like everyone, and let them know, hey, I'm having problems with COVID. There are plans in place with all these people, and they can help you. If it's a car payment, they can move most, not everyone, but most of the time you can move your car. They'll move the car payment that's due now, and part of the COVID relief thing they're doing, they'll move it to the end of your uh,
Yeah.
car, being paid off. They just bump it to the end, and so it's like
So basically, you're getting a month or
you get a
so.
month and to get caught up or whatever. And there's a lot of people doing things like that. Also, um, there's churches and different people. If you're really needing help, looking for help, call some churches and ask them for some relief. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of churches that have money put aside for things like that. And if they don't, they can probably recommend somebody that can help you. And with a little creative Googling, I'm sure you can find somebody that can help. That whether
Yeah.
it's a government program, but there's a lot of money that has been kicked down for these things and people to help. A lot of organizations.
Well,
I know in Austin especially, there's a
utilities,
lot of people.
yeah. But utilities anyway, I think most utility companies, even before the pandemic, had programs for, if you can't pay, they usually are able to take that bill and average it out, you know, over several months.
Mhm.
So you might have some bills that are a little higher, but they're accounting for maybe that, like they split it into $20 payments, but that buys you some time. um, until, and you're paying that one bill back a little bit slower and stuff like that. That's really unfortunate. I think a lot of people are in just really crappy boats like that right now, and it
Yeah.
sucks.
And but look, just look out there. But seriously, call some churches, call some different charities, and just do a little creative googling, and you'll find people that if they can't help you, they might be able to turn you
Yeah,
to
ask for help
yeah.
and don't feel shame about that.
Ask for help. And there's a lot of people struggling and a lot of people trying to help. Let's see. And what do we got? You guys think this will be the year the pandemic's finally over? I don't know. I was talking about that. We might have pandemics forever. It might never go away.
Yeah. It's never going to fully end. It'll become endemic levels at some point. But this spike, Omicron being less severe as far as symptoms with a lot of people, it's not replicating in the lungs quite like the previous variants are. It looks good looking at data from other countries that have already kind of been going through their Omicron spike. This is a sharp spike, and then we're seeing a sharp decline. And so, and there's some other variants that aren't really showing up a lot right now. So, potentially, yeah, this is the last kind of big one that we're going to go through, and then it'll kind of just stay at smaller, lower levels for a while. But who knows? I mean, we don't really get to know. There could be another variant that pops up and does this to us again in another 4 or 5 months. But I feel like all the doctors and things that I follow, all the information I've been getting seems like people feel like this one will be kind of the last big one. Also, we have more vaccinated, we have more boosted, we have a new antiviral medication that's coming out that's proven to be amazing. So there's a lot more going into it. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this is the end of the scary, awful part of it.
I sure hope so too. I'm sick of this crap. Like everyone else, the whole
Yeah.
world's sick of it. Hey, check out my new band name that I want to do.
Okay.
The Omicronics. What do you guys think?
The Omicronics.
The Omicronics? What? No?
I like it.
Yeah.
I actually love it.
That's not real. That was just a joke that I sent to my friend.
I know it's a joke, but it was great.
Here we go. And every time I get drunk, I crave drama. Is that why is that? And how do I change? Ask for. Well, first of all, I want to congratulate you for recognizing that in yourself, because most people don't have the presence of mind to realize that every time they drink that they do that. And I've known a lot of people in my life that when they get drunk, they're like all of a sudden turn into like difficult human beings. And some people just aren't cut out to drink. So there's nothing wrong with coming to that realization. If you are seeing a pattern where your life keeps getting screwed up every time you drink, maybe you shouldn't drink. I haven't been drinking much lately. And some people can drink and lead a healthy life, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But if you're having issues with severe drama every time you drink, you might want to think about it. And clearly you already have been. Maybe talk to somebody about it, and maybe you might come to some realizations. And maybe you also, like we like to say, you might need to see a therapist and talk to them a little bit, because you might have some issues that are going on deep down inside that are buried until you get a little buzz going, and then they come out, and that might be just be some coping that you need to deal with.
Combination of things.
Yeah, and so maybe you need to figure out how to cope and deal and come to terms with or peace with certain things that are inside you, and maybe they won't surface when you're mildly intoxicated. I don't know. So anyway, lot of possibilities there, but I'll just say maybe keep thinking about that, and congratulations for not thinking you're perfect and saying, "Oh, it's not my fault," blah blah blah. That's
blaming it on the alcohol.
Realizing that there's something going on is a huge first step. So well done on that, and maybe go talk to somebody.
Yeah, I agree. I would say taking time off. I took well over a year off, and I realized a lot of things. I did a lot of really stressful. I did all of 2020 pretty much sober, where we were going through the beginning stages of the pandemic, the protests, the elections, things like that, that were really intense. And I learned a lot about um, what my relationship with alcohol was to begin with, and what alcohol culture is to begin with too. Like, oh, we had a hard week, let's all go out for happy hour on Friday. And just when you connect drinking to anything, it's I personally, for me, that means drinking for the wrong reasons. So if I while I have made mistakes with this, but my new thing that I really, really try hard at is, if I'm not already in a good mood and feeling good, I'm not going to touch it. And then recognizing, like you said, that you have a weird connection to it where you want drama, maybe you should stay away from it for a while. You don't have to drink when you go out with people. It's not a requirement, you know. And it's weird that in our culture that we think that it is, or that
It
we're less fun or something.
it is weird because you're like, I can't not drink. It's gonna be weird. Like
Yeah.
it is weird.
Yeah.
Man, you and I had opposite 2020s. I was completely hammered though. I was very productive.
Everyone I knew was.
Yeah, that's another way I like. I'll get a lot done, and then I would drink a whole bunch, and then I'd wake up and get a lot done, and it's really weird. I guess
Yeah.
that's how I used to like, that was my mini vacation, I guess, from Earth.
Yeah. Well, what I stopped because I realized, similarly to this person, that every time I was drinking, I was going to really dark places, and and I wasn't stopping at maybe one or two, while I wasn't really like being awful to other people. I was being really awful to myself. And so I was like, I don't know what this is about. And if I'm not like, dancing and having fun with my friends, why am I drinking? And so I,
Yeah.
I stopped, and I learned, like I said, insane amounts of information about myself and my connection with a lot of stuff. And so, yeah. Taking time off, there's no shame in that, and trying to really sort it out. And like Clint said, it doesn't vibe with everyone. Some people really just can't drink.
Yeah, some people have a breaker. We call it the allergy. Some people, like, they drink a little bit and they turn into a completely different person, and it just doesn't go well with them. And so
Yeah.
it's some people are just wired that way. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
So
Some people fall asleep in cars.
yeah, are you talking about me?
No. Rajneesh says, being a Brit, American drunk is British tipsy. Same here in UK. Most people were getting fat and drinking more in lockdowns. Yeah, I mean, everyone I know was. I questioned it every single day. Every new news thing, every new thing, I was just like, should I just be getting drunk like everyone else? But I held out, and I'm really glad I did, because it was such an enlightening period of my life, for sure.
We're me and Mia are trying to be as nice and therapeutic as we are, but I could sure appreciate this British answer right here. Joking aside, if you're an asshole when you're drunk, stop drinking.
Stop
That's
drinking.
fantastic
For
solutions
real.
right there. Yeah. Man.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, if you are struggling and having a hard time, we like to put this up so anybody who watches this video and they're dealing with stuff, there's people to call. Likewise, if you're having COVID money problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 9. I'm just kidding. Like, there are people out there to help. Just do some creative Googling, and if any kind of help, man. Like, we're in a world where we're all connected now with the internet, and if you got problems,
Yeah.
whether it's suicide hotline or financial issues or whatever, just start searching. Hey, I need help.
Yeah.
What do I do? Google the thing.
No
You
shame in
could,
starting a GoFundMe either.
yeah, you can find
People
solutions to
are
all
willing
kinds of
to
things.
donate money. I have seen GoFundMes for some of the most ridiculous things. You cannot pay your bills right now. That is a justifiable reason to maybe put it up there and see if people donate some money to you. I've seen GoFundMes for, like, I don't even know, stuff that I'm like, what? Are you really asking for money for that? And so,
Microblading? Really? GoFundMe for microblading?
all right. I
All
didn't
right,
start a
gang.
GoFundMe. It was a gift card from my friends who love me and for my birthday.
You know what, Mia? Go fund yourself. Wait,
I'm
never
gonna
mind.
go fund. I'm going. I do fund myself. Are you kidding me? All right.
All right, gang.
We
Guys,
had a game. We had a game, but we're gonna play it next time.
yeah, there's guys, subscribe, all that good stuff. like Mia just said, I don't know if you're muted or not, but we had a game. We're going to play it next time. So
We're going to play it next time.
it's called Fingers Down. So, but we'll do it later.
What is it called?
Fingers Down.
Huh. I didn't know that's the title.
Is that? I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Put a finger down. Whatever. That even sounds even worse. All right. Well, gang.
On that note,
we want to thank you guys for watching. Bobby, thank you. She's one of our favorite patrons right there, and it's always good to hear from everyone in the chat. We're going to see you guys again soon with another shorter episode of Answering for a Friend. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you soon. I'll be around tomorrow on small screen. You can catch me there, and I'll also be doing verses with Curtis after. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again. Love you guys. Mia, always good hanging with you.
love you. Bye.
Bye.
Answering for a Friend. That's on